There it goes. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. Tommy, World at War Comics. We have two special guests. We have Mr. Dolan Waddick, and then we have Mr. Aaron Sparrow joining us today. We're waiting on Aaron, but I'm gonna bring in Dolan. What's up, Mr. Dolan? How you doing, man? AKA Drew.
I'm doing fantastic, Tommy. Thanks for having me. It's great to be back. Love hanging out with you. Let's love chatting with you. So let's talk about comics.
A lot of fun, man. We'll give Aaron a couple more minutes, but man, you guys have been super busy. Love you on Thinking Critical, man. I love the Best of the Week. It's one of my favorite episodes. I always make sure I have those comics whenever you and Wes are going over them, man. But as far as comics, man, you were talking, you have been busy, my friend.
Yeah, I've been busy nonstop all year. So we're gonna, on top of what we're going to announce tonight, I've got 8 projects with Marat Michaels I'm working on. I got another project with Big IV Comics I'm doing. Yeah, it's to the point now where it's like I'm gonna have to start turning projects down. I'm that busy. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think as a writer, that's a good place to be.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like when Aaron told me that, Aaron's like, "You're in a position to say no now." I'm like, I had not considered that. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, plus you're managing a day job too, right? So that's got to be quite the balance anyways.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. Yeah. When you're doing a day, it's even better when you have a day job, when your employers, your coworkers, they support you, it's like they know that you will put in 100% at your day job, but they also fully support you in your other endeavors. So it's fantastic.
Well, good for you, man. I'm so happy for you, Drew. That's awesome, man. Here comes Mr. Aaron. Let's see if Mr. Sparrow is here.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
What's up, Aaron? How you doing?
Hey, I'm sorry I'm having to call in on my phone. They're doing some work at my apartment. And so, like, I can't use the internet's down and just a whole bunch of nonsense.
All good, Aaron. All good. We won't be able to see your handsome face, but we'll be all right, I think.
Well, I mean, you've got me covered, so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me, man. I know talking just a little bit, such exciting news that you all have to kind of announce. But before we jump into that, man, I would just love to give a little bit of background. So Dolan Waddick, I mean, comic book creator, writer. You've worked for Merck Publishing, Pray for the Sinner, Born of Blood, and then your newest title, Unholy Nightmare, which you gave me a sneak preview of. Dope as hell. The art is absolutely incredible. So congratulations on that. And then we have Mr. Aaron Sparrow, writer and editor, worked from Tokyo Pop to Boom Studios, to Joe Books, went on Darkwing Duck. And then you have your Kneel Before Doomface, which is coming up, which we're really excited about. And you've been really kind to show me some behind the scene pictures, man. Both of you have been extremely busy, and both of you have pretty incredible titles that people will be getting in their hands. I know, Drew, you were just in Texas, if I'm not mistaken, in Dallas, and you had some of those Unholy Nightmare issues available, right?
Correct. Yeah, we had a preview edition. We had a preview edition of Unholy Nightmare done by Andrew and Gabriel Mangum, and we sold through half the print run when we were down in Dallas that weekend. So that was fantastic.
That is awesome, man. And Aaron, have you printed any of? Is it gone to print yet, or are you still working on the art on the Kneel Before Doomface?
No, Kneel Before Doomface, we're going to crowdfund, so it will be we have a certain amount of pages done that I've paid for. Renzo's working steadily, Oscar's working steadily. We're cranking stuff out, but we're at the stage now where we're almost ready to launch the campaign. We're ready to get it out there, get all the promotional material out to people. We're going to launch the pre-launch page here pretty soon, so people can sign up before we go live.
That is so awesome, man. I cannot wait for it. It sounds awesome. It sounds hilarious. I know you shared a little bit the last time we talked, but maybe if you could, Aaron, can you give us kind of your elevator pitch on Kneel Before Doomface?
Yeah, so Doomface is a villain from the 1980s who was banished to the Timeless Void, and now he has returned in the year 2024 to reestablish his place upon the pinnacle of villainy. And as it turns out, the world is quite different in 2024 than it was in the 80s. So he takes a major domo, a Hollywood producer named Lexi, and she's going to help him navigate through this new world that he finds him in as he seeks revenge. The B story, we've got two superheroes, Notorious KID and Iggy the Inflatable Iguana, and they are coming to the big city to become superheroes. They've been doing some small town heroism, and now they're going to try their luck in the big city. But they're about to find out that getting into the superhero racket is a lot like trying to break into the modern comic book industry. And so the very first problem they run into is not supervillains, but the Social Justice League, who is there to check their privilege.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. I think you're gonna have two different camps reacting to that one, man. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I think it's awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, if you've got a sense of humor about yourself, which some people don't, there's plenty in there for both. I'm kind of aiming for a South Park kind of vibe. If you followed my Twitter, you know that obviously I find one side a little bit more ridiculous than the other right now, but I pretty much make fun of everything. So that's what you're going to get in Kneel Before Doomface. But it's also, ultimately when the series is finished, and this is just book one, but I already know where the series ends. I already know most of the beats. There may be things that are added in between as new ideas occur to me, but I know what the pathway for this entire story is. So as it goes on, it's going to be so much deeper than just a humor book. There's going to be several layers to this. So if you love the Venture Brothers, if you love the Tick, if you love my run on Darkwing, or you like Sam and Max or anything that's kind of got like an anarchic spirit to it, I think that you'll really love this book. I think it's the best thing I've ever written.
I love it. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Can't wait for your crowdfunding to start. And then, Drew, man, can you kind of give us your elevator pitch? Although I did get a sneak preview of Unholy Nightmare. It's also pretty incredible. The art is like next level. But if you could give us your elevator pitch too, so people know what they could expect when that starts getting delivered.
Yeah, it's superheroes becoming monsters to take down evil monsters. And Aurelia Mazzara and I, our great love for superheroes and horror merged together. We wanted to do a true superhero horror book. We felt like they've been done, but hadn't really done to a better term, kick-ass level. And that's where we wanted to take this series. We wanted to bring in an Image 90s feel with the art as well as the action, and but with a great modern way of telling us a great story. And we believe we've done that here with Unholy Nightmare, and we've got an unbelievable story planned. We've got Aaron Sparrow editing the series, and he's going to be guiding me along the way, making sure I'm not veering too far off the path of the story I want to tell. But like I said, I've got 12 issues already written for Unholy Nightmare. I know where everything is going, got it all planned out, and I'm working on the next arc. I'm working on the next 6 after that right now. So yeah, there is a vision, and with a title like Unholy Nightmare, there's going to be some true unholy nightmares in this book.
That is awesome, man. Well, I could tell you I have had the chance to take a look at it, and it is next level good. If you like action, the action scenes are insane. I'm a little surprised from one of the characters at the end that kind of turns into something a little different and kind of goes wild, man. The last, I think, page or second to last page is quite gory. So if you're into super action and gore and all that good stuff, you're going to absolutely love this, man. It's been a lot of fun to read. So congratulations. So that kind of brings us to some of the stuff that you all have been working on lately, man. A lot of news coming out for both of you. I don't know if you want to kind of let us know what you've been working on outside of those 2 titles that you have done on your own.
Yeah, so since April this year, I have been working for and with Steve Finkel, the owner of the Comic Mint. And if anyone watching or listening had not familiar with the Comic Mint, they are arguably one of the largest, if not the largest, comic book sellers in the United States, probably the world. And in April, Thiago de Silva and Steve Finkel reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to come on board and write their first title, which wound up being Silent Nights. And I said, absolutely, but I got a stipulation. I have to bring on the best editor in the business. So I said, I need Aaron Sparrow. And sure enough, Aaron Sparrow was willing to come on board to help me along the way. And we have produced a awesome series in Silent Nights. And then it developed into another series called Depths of Valor, which Aaron Sparrow is also editing. And fortunately as well, they've also picked up Unholy Nightmare. through the Comic Mint, through TCM Publishing. So 3 books I am writing for the Comic Mint, and 3 books that Aaron Sparrow is editing for the Comic Mint.
Yes, and we've also brought on it just in the interest of full disclosure, this endeavor with TCM Publishing under the Comic Mint is basically a Merc reunion. It's the 3 people that contributed to the Merc universe and made it a coherent and functioning set of stories that work together. All 3 of us are there because we also have Murphy with us, and she is our editor-in-chief.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, because Murphy was writing, was it Death Rage?
Yeah, Miss Me.
Co-writing,
right? And so we co-wrote those series, and she's got a great book out now on her own called Damsel that she crowdfunded. The first issue out. The second issue is in production right now. It's absolutely fantastic. So what you've got is you've got 3 people involved, and to say nothing of our artists who are also on board, but people involved in this who actually really love comics and really want to tell great stories, really want to build something. We're not just looking to spam out a bunch of covers that people can buy, or try to appeal to the lowest common denominator, and just put out a bunch of collections that have and not really matter what's inside. We really want every single piece of this to matter. We want you to love the covers. We want you to love the story. We want you to love the characters. We really want to give something back to the comic book industry and get it back on track with killer stories with killer art.
I think as comic fans, most of us, that's all we want. So I feel like that's almost perfect. Is it okay? I'm going to pull up the Comic Mint website because it does kind of show some of the teams, if you're good with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it is live right now. Go for it. Yeah.
Let me see here. Of course, it takes me a second. I'm old. There we go. So here it is. TCM, and here's Silent Knights. You want to walk us through what we're seeing here?
Yeah, so Silent Knights, it's created by Stephen Finkel and Thiago de Silva, a fantastic artist. And this series is pretty much going to be, that's Thiago de Silva's cover from New York Comic Con right there. And this series is pretty much, it's our Femme Fatale series, but with a twist. There's going to be some industrial espionage. There's going to be international intrigue. And there's maybe an AI element in this as well. There's going to be a lot of twists along the way. And there's the other beautiful cover there by Stephen Defendi. He nailed. This is an actual painting. He actually painted this, and it is beautiful.
Yeah, that is incredible, insane. And
then, fantastic interior artists. Yeah, I mean Omar and Louise, the colorist, they've been killing it. Omar is fantastic, and Louise. Oh, I can't begin to tell you just how he is a godsend when it comes to colors. Jeez, I mean, what he's doing for this book as well as Depths of Valor, it's next level. It puts what Marvel and DC are doing to shame.
Yeah, incredible. And then we got Depths of Valor, like you were saying, created by Steve. And you're writing this one too, right, Dolan?
Correct. Yeah, this is a story from Steven. Yeah, this is a passion project of his. This is based on a true story here. I'm not sure how much you're familiar with naval history, whatnot, but in the late 1990s, a German U-boat was discovered 60 miles off the coast of New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I didn't know this, but apparently, according to the Nazi records, Nazi Party records, that U-boat specifically was recorded as having been being sunk off the coast of Morocco. So how did a U-boat that was supposed to have sunk off the coast of Morocco wind up 60 miles from the New Jersey coast?
Yeah.
So we're having fun with this. This is going to be a very, very fun story. What was the mission of this U-boat? Why did it get so close? It's going to be scary. I love it. It's going to be a great historical piece, but with some horror elements too.
So it's a modern day story, Dolan, that talks about the boat, or it takes place during World War II?
Both. It's going to be flip flop, and we're going to get it's going to be introduced during modern day, the discovery of the boat, but we're going to be going back to the World War II, and as well as elements in the present when the son of the one survivor of the U-boat is rediscovering his father's legacy that he was unaware of.
Wow. Insane.
And I will say, the artist on this, Nate Watson, I've worked with him multiple times over the years. Worked with him at Boom. I did Toy Story with him. Worked on a lot of different things. He was an artist for a time at Lucasfilm before the Dark Times, before the Disney sale, and he was designing ships and designing different environments and things like that. Just a really gifted artist. Even did some Death Rage pages for us.
Wow.
Filled in on some stuff, did a lot of covers, and has done some of the covers for Kneel Before Doomface. So Nate is just someone that I absolutely love to work with. He is a huge talent. It's funny. The work that he's doing on this, I think, is the best work of his career. And it just reminds me that when I was at Boom and we were working on Toy Story, and he wanted a shot at like one of the superhero titles that we were doing, one of Mark Waid's superhero titles. I was told by the managing editor at the time, Nate's not ready for prime time. And Nate shortly thereafter went to work for Lucasfilm, and I was like, oh, I guess Nate Primetime Watson was a little bit better than you thought, huh? So seeing him come into this title and deliver such spectacular artwork, it is like a vindication of all that time when he was devalued.
Yeah. Well, the cover looks absolutely incredible. Cannot wait to check that one out. And then here's Unholy Nightmare. If you are not aware of it or if you haven't seen the cover, now this is an exclusive cover that you had for New York Comic Con, right?
Yeah, so all these covers you're showing, these are all for New York Comic Con. These are all the New York Comic Con exclusives, and this is one of them also as well by Nate Watson. And he killed it on this issue, on this cover, and I couldn't be happier. And I couldn't be happier that Stephen Finkel believes in my title, Unholy Nightmare, to begin publishing it. And I'm absolutely thrilled. Since April, my mind has been blown, and it's been Aaron knows it's been driving me nuts not being able to talk about this because we've put it Aaron, me, Steven, Tiago, Murphy, Louise, Ezekiel, Nate. We've all put in so much work up to this point. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it looks freaking dope, man. I love that cover. That is awesome. So did you do like 10-page or 5-page layouts for each of the titles in like an ash can?
So I believe in each book, I think Unholy Nightmare at New York Comic Con, we're going to have the full issue of Unholy Nightmare. Awesome. But Depths of Valor is going to be, I think around 10 pages, I think, and same for Silent Nights. So those two are going to be preview books at New York, and those are going to be limited to 100 copies each. That's it.
Yeah, kind of what you did at Dallas, right?
Correct. Yeah, we want to make them extremely limited and rare, and I believe there will be like a limited spot foil for the Depths of Valor. That cover right there.
Dude, that would look maybe really good in foil with that. I don't know what that is, like a light or whatever it is shining on the boat, but that would be incredible with foil.
Yeah, I think only 20 copies we're going to do of that, I believe. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's it. So those are the 3 that have been announced so far, right? Silent Nights, Depths of Valor, and then obviously Unholy Nightmare. And then Aaron, is Kneel Before Doomface going to be under TCM as well?
At the moment, it's just independent. We haven't had any sorts of talks about that, but the book is we're not close to being finished with the actual book itself. So there's always the opportunity for those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, that's incredible. I cannot wait to get my hands on those. The physical copy. I love my physical copies, but it looks incredible. But congratulations, man. TCM, another amazing publisher producing really good stuff, it looks like. Man, I feel like that's kind of what the industry needs right now. And it seems like, and I don't know, in the tech industry, they call it brain drain when they start to lose a lot of talent to other industries. I feel like we've seen kind of the same thing happen in the big 2, and it seems like everyone's rushing toward indie. And I think that's good for quality, but boy, has it left a little dry in some areas at DC and Marvel. Are you seeing things within the industry the same way?
If you look at, sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
I actually have a lot of artists that have been coming to me asking if I know where there's any work that pays. So, wow. People as they've lost, I think that they're on the verge of losing even more because, we're seeing the sales go down, which means that we're going to be seeing rates go down, and people just can't afford to survive on this. So there's so many artists that are not only, struggling to make ends meet, but they're also just so bored with what they're being asked to draw. You have no idea how many artists I have reach out that are like, man, your guys' books look so good. What you're doing looks so exciting. I wish I was drawing something like that. If I have to draw another conversation in a coffee shop, I'm going to murder myself. It's like the scripts that they're being asked to write by these people that don't know how to do anything exciting in a comic book is just, it's got to be soul crushing for these artists. And I feel so bad because I wish I had work for everybody. I wish that this market was strong enough and that I just had unlimited money to where I could start hiring people and putting them on books, because I've got more ideas than I've got dollars. Yeah. So, there's only so much bandwidth that I can have right now. But, if Kneel Before Doomface is wildly successful, which I hope it is, that money is going to go back into making more comics.
That's incredible. Yeah. So what do you think the 5-year plan is around TCM? Obviously, you're starting with these 3 titles. Is the idea that more independents would start to look to TCM to publish? Is the idea to build this out over time, or are you going to start it really slow?
I think right now we're taking a dance with who brought you kind of attitude.
Yeah.
We're doing the initial launch titles. We're going to see how those go. We're going to see what people respond to. We don't want to overextend ourselves or expand too fast. We want to make sure that we're delivering high quality stuff on the books that we promised. And then as we see how those go, we'll probably adjust accordingly. Drew, do you feel like that's an accurate description?
Absolutely, and you're right, Aaron. Yeah, because each, as you can see, Tommy, each title is completely different.
Yeah,
all 3 vastly. So we'll be able to easily tell which ones the audiences respond to. And in Holy Nightmare, the deal I have worked out with Steven is that a lot of the financial risk is going to be on me and Aurelio to produce. So which is fine. We believe in our book, so I have no problem with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you got a story with 12 issues already. I feel like you're in a really good place to ensure that title keeps going for a while.
And with Silent Nights, we've already got the first arc plotted out for 6 issues. First 2 issues issue 2 is already written and done. Getting ready to start art on that. And Depths of Valor, the first issue is already written, but it's being tweaked right now with the art. But I sent Aaron the progression of the story where I see it going the next 5 issues. So we'll probably have a talk about that in the future, if I'm on the right path or not.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that tonight, Drew.
Oh, nice.
Incredible, guys, man. That is such exciting news. I'm so happy for both of you. Man, those titles look really good. And man, I hope to get this word out and help you out a little bit because we need more of this, I think, within the industry. Even looks like Jeffrey agrees. Proud of y'all. Getting TCM to publish these is a huge step. So.
Oh, Jeffrey's so good.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, he's amazing.
And we got H in the chat too.
He may or may not have done a cover for Unholy Nightmare coming out soon.
Oh, damn. That's awesome, man. That's
Jeffrey's on my short list of people to ask for Kneel Before Doomface book too.
Oh, he'd nail it, man. He would. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Since both of you are creators and writers, I do get to interview quite a bit of indie comic creators. Man, I think maybe if it's okay with you, it'd be incredible to get a little bit of advice from both of you as far as first steps. If you have a story that you want to kind of bring, I know Aaron, I think I read something on X that you wrote earlier today about just really writing, right? Getting out there and practicing, and over time, right? That's how you get better. You can't expect to be making what other people are making when you really haven't had the same experience, which seems really obvious, but I think sometimes maybe it's not that obvious to the person.
No, people see there's a finite pool of money, and that if one person is making, so the tweet in question was about Brandon Sanderson and how he's made millions on Kickstarters selling his leather-bound editions of his books, and someone was saying it's a shame that all this money is going to another rich white man, which I thought, well, that's not germane at all. But it's instead of to smaller indie publishers who also deserve a look. And I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, they may deserve a look, but Brandon Sanderson is making millions of dollars on his Kickstarters because he's had a decades-long career of consistent quality, delivering product to his customers that they like. I'm like, so it's, you can't fault him for that. I said, what you need to do is you need to stop looking at the success of other people and comparing yourself to it, especially people who have had a much longer career path, an opportunity to build their brand than you have. What you need to focus in on is you need to look at them and you say, okay, what are they doing right? What can I learn from from their success that I can incorporate into what I'm doing? And you follow that and you practice and you get good. You just keep plugging away at it and you work at it and you build your brand and you get out there and you promote yourself. Nobody is going to do it for you. You've got to get out there and you've got to market it yourself. There'll be people who, once they notice you and they like you, they'll give you a leg up. They'll help you along the way, but you've got to put in the work. That's the way that the industry works right now. There's a lot of books being handed out to a lot of people that can't write based on just, they meet certain, certain checkpoints. And it's not good for them and it's not good for the industry because those books don't sell. They don't have a following or they're not very good and they don't sell. And then those authors, like nobody's worked with them to help them be better. They've never had that grind where, when you're just handed something right off the bat, it has no value. Something that you have not worked for has no intrinsic value. You didn't learn anything to attain it. So what you have to do is you have to stay on your hustle. You have to keep writing. For example, the first few scripts that Drew turned in to Joe Corallo and I, Drew, would it be safe to say that we tore them apart pretty much?
I wouldn't say tore them apart. I honestly, Aaron, I think it went easy on me because I've had English teachers who tore my papers apart, in high school. It's like that stuff. I mean, one of the scripts specifically, I'm like, okay, I can work with this, but I was used to the red marker at that point. But it's fair, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, but we gave you a lot of notes.
Yes, you did. Yes, and I needed it.
And you write continuously. You write more than anyone I know. Like I turn around and you're like, here's 6 more scripts, and I'm like, I just talked to you 10 minutes ago. What are you doing? But it's that old adage of to get good at anything, you've got to put in like 10,000 hours doing it before you start to see, and I told this to an artist yesterday. I was at the Tick's Big Blue Birthday Bash in LA at the El Cid Theater. And I met a very nice young couple and, the guy's doing comics and his girlfriend is doing her first graphic novel. And she was showing me her work, and I was like, "This is nice." I was like, and she was like expressing her insecurity because she's only like 20 years old. Yeah. And I told her, I said, "Listen, I said, right now when I look at the work, it looks like a lot of work that's out there." I said, "It's solid. You've got fundamentals." I was like, "But it looks like a lot of work that's out there." I said, "But you keep plugging away. What's going to happen is at some point," I said, "you're going to make small incremental improvement, and then at some point you're going to have this dramatic leap forward." It's going to be like, oh my, like all the little improvements that you made along the way, you're going to have a leap forward that's going to be more than those ever were. I was like, because you put in the work. I was like, so don't give up, keep practicing at it, and what you've got here looks good so far. I think that, I said, you won't be satisfied with it in 2 months, in a year, you'll look back and you'll be like, oh God, I wish I could redo that. I was like, but that's always the nature of it. I still look at things that I've written and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done that. Or I wish I would have changed that line just slightly. I understand the Star Wars special editions. I really do. I know why George Lucas had to go back in and add dewbacks and stuff, but we don't agree with it. But I get it. Joe Corallo has joined us in the chat. He's got a great comment. Writer today.
Yeah, I love it. He said all you have to do is take a popular meme from 5 years ago and build a story out of that.
That's right. That never memes never go out of style.
Never. I love that, Joe. That's awesome, man. How about you, Drew? Can you walk us through?
Let me finish because I got sidetracked.
Oh, yeah, please, Aaron. Yeah.
So what I was saying about Drew is that when he gave me the Death of Valor first issue script and I went through it and I gave it back to him, I was like, I don't have many notes. I was like, this is the most perfect thing you've ever written.
Wow. That must have felt good, Drew, after the first group of notes that you got.
It was one of those where it's like, well, not just that, but it's automatically put a lot of pressure on me to repeat that, if not exceed that for the subsequent issues. It's like, okay, I've created a great first chapter. It was one thing I love saying. It's a great quote. I told Aaron, David Mamet, great writer. He said, everyone can write a great first act. What can you do after that? And it's like, so now it burdens upon me to write a great second act and third, fourth, fifth, sixth after that. So that's at a high bar. So I've got to keep that. I got to keep that quality up now.
Yeah, that's incredible. And what's the secret to that, Drew?
It's like what Aaron said. Keep chugging away at it. The 10,000 hours of practice is so true. And don't. If you're gonna do this, don't be easy. Hey, Aurelio. No, that's Ken Rocafort. Ken Rocafort's in the chat.
Ken.
Yeah, Ken.
Hi, friend.
Yeah. So what's it? Hey, Nate's in the chat.
The whole team's coming on, man.
Holy crap. Trish Forster's in the chat. Holy crap. What is going on now? Jeez.
Have you guys seen his art? Out of Canada.
No.
It's incredible, man. You gotta check him out. He just did a cover for Witchblade at Top Cow.
Really?
He's got a couple of things coming. Yeah, incredible.
Oh, I might have to steal him away.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I say, the 10,000 hours are so true. And don't be easily if you're gonna do this, you have to take criticism. You have to take it. Don't be like, don't brush it off. Be like, yeah, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? It's like, no, you have to take it. Like, that's why if I'm going to do this right, I brought on Aaron Sparrow, because he's not just going to be like, he's not just going to be like a yes person. He's not going to do it for my brother Kyle, where it's like, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's good. Like, no, come on. You got to give me something. But Aaron does that. Aaron is the best at it. And that's why we're doing these titles. And if Steve Finkel is paying us to do this, and he wants to really leave a mark, we got to have the best editors in the business. You got to have the best writers in the business. And you got to have the best artists in the business, like Nate, Aurelio, Luis, Omar. Yeah, we're killing it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I know editing for a lot of indie creators is a tough one, right? It's an extra expense, but boy, is it important. I think as you all read a lot of independents, you probably see a lot of things, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a real I offer really good rates to independent creators, and I have a tiered system depending on what they want me to do, to look over their scripts and to help them out. I know it's scary because I know a lot of people think that an editor is going to come in and just completely change their story, is going to completely alter what they want to do. That's not what a good editor's job is. A good editor, when he comes in on your original project, is to look at it and say, okay, what is it that you're trying to accomplish here? What story are you trying to tell? And then help you tell the best possible version of that story, get you to where you want to go. Give you notes that are going to be helpful, tell you what you don't need and what you do need. It's like, you need a scene that explains this, or you need a scene that, connects this to this. Take this out. This is superfluous. It doesn't move the story forward at all. And it's just wasted pages. It's like those sorts of things. But at the end of the day, it's still your project. So you can do what you want if you disagree with the editor. But it's just helpful to have those notes. I'm a professional editor. I still passed around the first Kneel Before Doomface script to people that I know to get notes back. Does this work? Is this funny? Do the characters resonate? Do they have, are they going to be able to connect to the audience? It's not just funny for funny's sake, right? Like there's actually an underlying story here that's going to go forward. Those are the kinds of things that I may think that it has that because I'm close to it and I've been living with it so long, but you need that feedback so that you see if you can patch up any holes that you might have missed.
Yeah, I think as an independent creator, right, you kind of get lost in your own story, and it's really easy to overlook some of those things that you just mentioned, Aaron. I know in my case, lots of mistakes, right? And that's just part of the process. But yeah, you kind of get lost in your own little world, and I can't believe some of the mistakes I've seen. I'm like, dude, how did I miss that?
Yeah, and that's where an editor comes in handy, is because we'll go through it and be like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this character here when it would have been just easier to do A and B? You have to have a reason for that, because if I'm asking it, the reader's going to ask it.
Yeah, so true. So true, man. Well, incredible guys, man. TCM looks like it's getting off to a very good start. Drew, can you kind of tell us a little bit about the research that you did specifically for Depths of Valor? It sounds like, since it was a true storyline, like, how did you attack the story in itself?
Well, fortunately, like I said, it was mostly a passion project of Steve Finkel's, and it was originally going to be a novel that he wanted to do, but it didn't turn out that way. And he decided to make it a comic, and he came to me, and he thoroughly enjoyed the first issue. We made some minor tweaks here and there, but I did a lot of research into U-boats, as well as I've been reading more about the Nazi Party, which is really freaking me out mentally with stuff that they did. Stuff I knew, but I'm learning stuff I didn't know, which I don't want to know, really. It's bothering me. I'm learning a lot about the different castles, the different facilities that they had. And Steve also did a lot of research. So he put me a lot of his research already done. So we're going to be going into some very wild places with this story. And stuff that people may be aware of, stuff that people may not be aware of. So it's going to be a fun, exciting, action-packed journey for everyone. And I love the story. I love what Steve Finkel did with this decision he made. And Nate Watson, his art in this is next level. I mean, when he started turning into pages for the panels where we go inside the sunken sub, I knew it. I knew this was the guy. He nailed it.
Well, he said Aaron's brutal, but if you listen, you'll be happy to have been so brutalized.
You know what? I wrap the iron glove in it, the iron fist glove. I do what I can to.
I love it.
I don't want anybody to feel bad about their project.
Right, yeah. No, you need to be objective and you need to be honest, right? That's the only way you're going to help someone. So, no one likes to have their baby told like maybe it's not as handsome as you thought your baby was. So.
Well, it's better to have your editor tell you this doesn't work than to have all of the readers tell you that it doesn't work.
Exactly. No, 100%. Drew, will you have any stories that go into Argentina? I was just down there and I learned that there is an entire community of thousands of Germans that only speak German in Argentina that came here after World War II.
I'm not planning on it, but if we ever really get to a second story arc, we may go down to Argentina. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll have to take a trip down there. That way you could see it firsthand, right? Research.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's go.
Tax deductible research.
Yes.
I love it, guys. I love it, man. Anything else that we haven't covered yet? What else is going on?
I'm working on. Let's see, what else am I working on? I'm finishing up the script for Black and White Volume 3 with Art Taber.
Yeah.
That's shaping up to be a lot of fun. A lot of really great action in that book. A lot of really great character moments. We're really kind of getting to dig into Reed. The Black. We're getting to dig into his backstory, which has been a lot of fun. And I'm working on Brotherhood of the Wolf with Wes Azadani and Aurelio, drawing that book. We've done the entire first issue. We're working on I think an 8 to 12 page. It might be 12 pages now. Little prologue story that we're going to give away, and we're working on the characters designs for issue 2. So that is that's a sword like a sword epic, like a Conan type story set during the Crusades. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of just really brutal imagery, the way that only Aurelio can bring it to you.
I love it. How about you, Drew? Did we cover everything, or you still got some things that you're kind of playing around with that you could talk about?
Oh, I've got other stuff I can't talk about. Most of them Aaron has seen. I believe Aaron has seen a lot of the projects I'm working on.
Sometimes I have to ask him. Sometimes Drew will send me a piece of art, and I'm like, "Which project is this for?"
How do you do that with the day job, Drew?
I have no life, I get to work early. I'll walk around and I'm writing up story notes as I'm walking around. Like if I hear something, it's like, oh, you know what? That'd be fun. That'd be a fun thing to use for dialogue. That'd be a fun line to use. Or I get the ideas as I'm at work, just walking around, have my headphones on like this now. But I have time, and like I said, I'm not married. I don't have kids, so I have all my time in the evening to write.
Awesome, man. How about you, Aaron? You're working too, right?
I am exhausted.
Well, hopefully this thing takes off and both of you could do this full time.
That'd be awesome.
I would love that. I think I would still always keep my toe in at least some sort of part-time job. And I think here's the reason, because the times where I have been just purely working for a publisher at home, working from home, you start to go a little bit stir crazy. And I like to be out amongst people. It helps inform my writing. It helps me like hear different perspectives. It helps me get out of like the bubble of the people that you know. And it really, like, I encourage every writer to do that. I think the most boring stories are being written by people who insist on only one point of view, because there's no conflict. There's no ideas there. So I think it's really important for writers to be out amongst, regular blue collar people, especially if you're going to write them.
Yeah, go out to. I mean, like, one thing I like to do. I mean, look, it sounds creepy, but I eavesdrop on conversations. Like, I'll go to the mall or whatever, go to different shops, stores. I'll listen to what families are saying, young people are saying, just how they're saying words, just different phrases, and like, okay, all right, just picking things up as I go along. It's not. It may sound weird, but that's what, if you're gonna be a writer, you gotta read people. You gotta know what they're saying, how they're doing, how they're acting.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Very true, guys. Well, damn, man. I mean, I'm super excited for TCM. It looks like these will be probably mainly a 2025 launches on most of the other two titles, correct?
I believe so. Silent Nights, we're going to be launching on Kickstarter. As far as I know, it'll be October 1. We're launching Silent Nights on Kickstarter. And at New York Comic Con, we're going to have the preview edition for that. So, yeah, be sure you get there. Limited quantities. They only 100 copies each.
Wow. And will you be there, Drew?
We're going to be there. Aaron will be there. I'll be there. Murphy will be there. Mr. Nate Watson will be there. Steve Finkel will be there. Yeah, the whole team is going to be there. And Tiago will be there as well. Yeah.
I should do up some Neil before Doomface prints that based off of one of Nate's covers.
Yeah,
and that we can have as like a nice little item for the con.
Absolutely.
Cool. Except for I'm on the West Coast, so I won't be able to get my hands on anything. But
here's the deal. Here's my plan. I've always said that if you sign up for the Kneel Before Doomface mailing list, which you can do right now, the pre-launch page isn't up, but you can sign up for the mailing list right now by sending an email to kneelbeforedoomface@gmail.com. If you are signed up on that mailing list, when the campaign launches, you will have access to any exclusive that I do anywhere. I will do a slight overrun to offer to the people that back the initial book. So you will have that opportunity. You will have all kinds of exclusive perks. If you're going to support me, I'm going to do what I can to support you. I'm going to make sure that you get whatever it is that you want. Any little freebies that we do, you'll be on the list. You're locked in.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I think that's awesome, man. How about for
Louise is here.
Luis is here.
The colorist extraordinaire on Silent Nights and Depths of Valor. Luis, man, he's been killing it. It's my first time he's seeing me live in person. But yeah, man, Luis is I can't wait for people to see his colors. People are gonna be blown away. But so Unholy Nightmare, we're gonna have copies of Unholy Nightmare, the New York Comic Con exclusive, the full issue, because we're gonna be fulfilling issue 1 here in the next week or so. So everything is going to be fulfilled and done. And I believe Aaron and I may have something in store, something special for Kneel Before Doomface and Unholy Nightmare as of right now. So we'll see if we can get that finalized in time.
Yeah, we need to have that meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. Just so you know, Nate approves of that plan. So awesome. When's the last time you guys have been in New York for Comic-Con?
Last year.
Oh, you were there. Aaron, you don't go that often.
I was there 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. I know you go to WonderCon and you go to San Diego since we're SoCal guys, but I didn't know you went to New York.
Yeah, I go to New York. Not every year, but I get out there whenever I can. I get out to Chicago whenever I can, and I like doing Rose City a lot. But since I haven't had anything major in print, all of my Darkwing work, of course, is out of print at this point. And I've just done, the Merc stuff I can't get a hold of to have at a table. And the only other thing I've done recently is I did a really fun Yuri Han story for Udon for one of their Street Fighter books, Street Fighter Game Gals #1. so I've got a little Yuri story in there. But it's not really enough to do like a whole table on or to get invited out. So I haven't been up there to the Pacific Northwest lately. But I'm always game to any con that wants to bring me out as a guest. There's many other things I can do. I've been on YouTube long enough. I can host panels for you. I can do all kinds of stuff. I just like going out to shows and meeting people.
Well, that's for sure. Both of you are regulars on Thinking Critical. That's where I watch most of you, which is a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I know. The next Dallas Fan Expo next June, I believe all of us are planning on being there. So Wes, me, Josh, Max, my brother Kyle, and hopefully Aaron will be able to make it out there too.
I plan on being out there. We might get Doc, we might get Sully. You might get a ton of the aficionados on there. We'd actually love to do an aficionados panel. We're just all up there and answering questions and talking comics. Like, that would be a blast, but I don't know if we can put that together.
I'm not sure any con is ready for that.
They're not ready for Doc.
Yeah, you're gonna have security coming out your ears, man.
What's funny though? I will tell you this: there's a lot of people in the comic book industry, in the mainstream industry, who love us.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
we get all kinds of messages from people, and you get people coming up to you at shows, and they're like, "I can't say that I love you guys, but I love you guys."
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, what a ridiculous climate that you can't listen to somebody who has a differing opinion or who isn't towing the corporate line. If you get caught listening to them, it could endanger your career. What a small and petty industry this has become, and we need to change that.
I couldn't agree with you more. I interview. I don't care what your background is. I don't care who you vote for. I just love comics, so I have no problem with it. But yeah, it's gotten to such a ridiculous point. I think you're starting to see a change, not just in comic books, just in general. People just being over it, trying to hide, their real feelings on things. I don't know. I just feel like people are being a little bit more transparent because they're just sick of pretending like they don't have a certain feeling because they're worried about what other people might think.
I think people have realized that if they don't stand up and they don't start pushing back on some of this stuff, soon they won't be able to. And so what happened was I think that once everything that was going on, once cancel culture kind of hit normies who, are just too busy paying attention, or, they don't have time to pay attention because they're too busy, trying to put food on the table or whatever. But they started to see the things that were going on, and they were like, no, I don't care for this. And then you started to see things change. And the pendulum always swings back. The problem is sometimes people on the other side push the pendulum too hard, and it swings back really hard. So it'd be nice if we could just get the pendulum just stationary in a sensible middle.
Yeah, I think it's needed. But I mean, independent comics, I feel like it has exploded over the last 5 or 6 years. And there's a lot of really good stuff out there that probably doesn't get as much attention as it should. So if you are a little discouraged about some of your favorite titles, there's a lot of really good stuff. Unholy Nightmare, Kneel Before Doomface, but there's a lot of other stuff as well that I think will make up for that desire. So.
Yeah, people are going to be blown away by our titles. Yeah,
agree.
The big challenge. I don't think that the challenge is getting people to enjoy them. I think that that's a given. I think that the challenge is getting the word out there and getting as many people as possible to notice them. That seems to be the biggest challenge for any indie creator.
Yeah.
Also, for some of them, then the challenge is actually delivering the book. But that's a whole other can of worms. That's the other thing is it's like, guys, in the independent space, we've got to be better about delivering the products that we've promised. You're hurting the whole. So, just make sure that you're getting books out there. And I know that, sometimes it's like, hey, the quality speaks for itself. And that's true. You don't want a book that looks like it was delivered on time. You want a book that looks like it took a long time, but was delivered on time.
That should be a comic book bumper sticker. What were you going to say, Drew?
I was just going to say, another hard factor to do, I've noticed, is to get just to get anyone to take their thumb and index finger to turn that cover. It's so hard anymore just to exude that little effort anymore. They just want to look at the cover and that's it. It's just trying to convince someone to just actually look inside and to get their attention with that first page. It's like you have to get their attention, and you can't do it with like a huge talking head with 20 word bubbles on the opening page. They're going to tune out. But you got to be able to grab their attention. And I really believe we have here with our books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we've got an old school kind of sensibility where it's like you've got to grab people with that splash page. You've got to grab people in those first few pages. They've got to get invested, and they'll flip towards the back, but you need to you've got to have them like right away. That cover's got to make them want to open the book, and then that splash page is going to want to make them go to the next page. And then once they're a couple pages in, you probably have a sale. That's the way comics used to be, and now it's unfortunately become such a huge speculative market because they've driven away all the readers.
Yeah. I mean, some like I don't want to call anybody out, but man, Dynamite and some of their Disney books, some of those covered 20 different covers. I was like, wow, like how are they even managing that? And that
they don't pay very much.
Yeah, that can't be cost efficient to have that many, right? I mean, anytime you're printing something, I don't know. It just seems crazy to me, but
the model works. The model works for them. Like they make that model work for them. But my question with Dynamite is because I've always felt Nick Barucci, if I can just paraphrase CM Punk here, he is a millionaire who should be a billionaire, and I don't even know if he's a millionaire, but I'm just I'm paraphrasing. But he seems to surround himself with glad-handing yes men editors who put in the barest minimum, the smallest amount of work possible on some of these things. And maybe they are overworked. I don't know. I don't want to sit in judgment of people that I don't know what their situation is. But there's no reason that the interior of the book can't be as good as the covers that you're doing. Put as much effort into that. Hire people who will do that. Who will make sure that happens, and hire editors who will work with new talent. If you've got new talent who doesn't really know the ropes yet or is still struggling, you need to have experienced editors who take the time to help them craft their stories and learn the craft. And, we're not seeing that at Marvel. We're not seeing that at DC. We're just seeing a bunch of, work wives that were hired so that the editors could feel like they had, cute girls in the office. And nothing wrong with that. But those cute girls got to be able to, do the job. They got to be able to get the writers to tell stories.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what separates. That's what's going to separate TCM Press from Dynamite. We've got a great editorial staff and Aaron, as well as Murphy, and great writers in me, and great artists and Nate Watson, Omar, Aurelio, colors like Louise, Tiago. Yeah, it just we are coming out swinging for the fences, and people are going to be blown away by New York Comic Con this year.
Well, I wish I could go and see. Will you guys have a booth, or will it be the like the Comic Mint booth? Will you have TCM up there? Or?
Yeah. So the way
will be part of that juggernaut of a booth.
Yeah. It's like so you have the front end. You have TCM on like the front end. As soon as you walk in the front entrance, to the right side, you're going to have us along the side, and we're working out some stuff right now. How we're going to be able to cross promote each other in our lines. So be able to draw in because I don't know if you're familiar with the lines at TCM for the Comic Mint at New York Comic Con, but it is always the line ride. It is the line ride every show. So we're doing what we can to get them to promote our stuff while we're in line.
Yeah. Jordan says I've had some issues opening doors with some publishers.
It's tough, right? It's if you're not not one of their cronies, you're not going to get work. That's unfortunately the way that it comes. And there's a huge amount of talent that's blocked out. Like, for example, when IDW was still healthy, and I don't know if you heard, but now IDW, like, they don't want to have a book where a page costs them over $200, and that's for everything. That's art, colors, letters, editorial. Wow. Every aspect of that book, they're cutting costs, and they have to because they've killed their line to such a degree, and they overpaid for Ninja Turtles. But that being said, when IDW was healthy and they were doing they had all kinds of properties. James Silvani and I there multiple times. We pitched really good ideas. I actually pitched a mask idea that ended up getting used, but didn't get hired for that. I pitched for Skylanders and helped obtain a license, but then didn't get hired. There's all kinds of things that went on, and that's not to say that trying to get me hired, but you have to go up against your higher ups and who they want to hire, and they want to hire their cronies. The fact that Silvani and I were never given like an Archie style Ninja Turtles book, based on the cartoon, ridiculous. The fact that we never got a chance to do a Transformers thing with them, ridiculous. We would have killed it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, he says literally wanting to do my own exclusives, pay the print rubs. and some are just so incredibly ridiculous to get in with. Yeah.
Do it. That's what I'm doing. That's what we did for with Unholy Nightmare at Dallas as well as Chicago. Yeah, if you want to get out there, you're gonna have to pay for it yourself, and that's what we've been doing. That's what Aaron's doing with his books. Yeah, that's how it is.
And you know what? I don't want to work for the. I don't want to work for the big. I don't have any interest in that.
Yeah.
The Marvel and DC that I dreamed of working for at one point, they're long gone.
Yeah.
And you know, the idea of working for one of those companies and telling stories and then take editorial from somebody who knows less than you, and on top of that, then your book gets interrupted for 3 months for a trash event. That's got to be maddening. How would you ever do your best work under those circumstances? Especially when you're not going to share any of the spoils. If you create anything great for them that that goes on to be a motion picture or something like that, maybe you get a thank you in the credits, and maybe they give you a movie ticket if you can drive yourself there. But that's about it. I would rather create things for myself. I will own whole. Renzo will have a piece of it, and we will whatever comes of it. God forbid if it ever became an animated series or had like toys made or something like that. Renzo gets a piece of that. I get a piece of that. It's not like mainstream publishing. There's no incentive at Marvel to create anything for them.
Yeah, pretty sad situation. But man, it's tough. That's for sure. Got to hustle.
That's what Aaron and I do. We hustle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like you said, it's tough, but if it's something you believe in, man, you just got to put your money before it and get it out there. And it seems like you did pretty good in Dallas, Drew. So
yeah, we did, and it showed us that there is something here. There's something special here, and I'm glad that Steve Finkel saw it as well. Steve saw something very special with the book, so he believes in us, and we're going to be producing a quality product along with Silent Knights as well as Depths of Valor.
Yeah, Jordan says, I don't want to work for them. I want to give them thousands of dollars so I could draw Godzilla. I don't understand why they don't want my money, especially when I see some of the stuff they do approve. Yeah.
It's sad. It really is sad. And Aaron's
you want a license deal.
Yeah.
Noir, have you considered like print work, or what? Reach out to me and just let me get familiar with what it is that you're doing, and let me see if I can make any recommendations for you.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, his work, his art, just follow him, Jordan Noir, on Instagram. Some of the stuff he's producing is next level. It's incredible. Incredible artist. Incredible. Well, guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you spending the time, being able to reveal TCM and all the amazing titles that are coming. I'm glad that you're going to be at New York Comic Con. I wish I could be there. Never been there, so one day I'll get there. But hopefully I'll be in Dallas. That's a little bit closer, and hopefully I'll be able to see you. I know, Aaron, you and I don't live too far apart. We've always talked about maybe getting coffee or something. But, man, it would be really cool to see you guys in person. But until then, anybody listening, man, Thinking Critical, Drew and Aaron are both regulars. You go to Thinking Critical Patreon, and you get a lot of extra stuff from Aaron. And then Drew, every Saturday, man, best of the week.
Yeah.
I just don't miss it.
Got my books right here. So, yeah.
Are you already reading up?
No, I am going to be reading up when we're done here.
Yeah. Nice, man. Well, I can't wait to see what you chose.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm very curious. I'm hoping that the ones I bought are the best ones. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, you always come up with some good ones. I think Conan's going to be one of the books of the year. I mean, Jim Zub is just having a career year when it comes to Conan, and everything that they're doing is, I don't know, for me as a fan of Conan, this is a really good time to be a Conan fan.
I'll tell you what I love about that. Yeah. What I love about Zub's run on Conan is that this is, because Jim's been on various titles at the various companies, and I certainly don't want to speak for him, but when you see Jim Zub unleash on Conan, nobody's getting in his way. Nobody's giving him any BS notes. He's not having to cross over with anything. He's not getting told, oh, by the way, Conan's Savage Avenger, you have to make that work. He's not getting a bunch of editorial edicts. He's getting to just be the creative that he is, and that book is working. To the credit of the Howard estate, they recognized in him a passion and a creativity, and they let him go. And there's so many companies that I paid money for that I'm like, this is a drop in the bucket if you just would have gotten out of my way and let me go. But egos get involved, and everybody's got to get in the way and get their fingers in it so that they can pat themselves on the back and say, I created this. And it's like, look, I don't care about that. I care about the quality of the work. Do I want to be recognized for putting out quality work? Absolutely. But you get the recognition of, hey, we hired this guy who put out this quality work and made a bunch of money. And I don't understand why that's not enough.
Yeah. Agree. No, he's having a incredible time. And like you said, I did talk to him, and he said that Titan is it's handcuffs off. I mean, there's nobody holding him back, and you can see, like you said, Aaron, what he's able to produce when he's given the opportunity to do it. So, couldn't agree more.
He's got a fantastic art team. I mean, Roberto de la Torre. I mean, look, Jim agrees with me. This guy, he is going to be the superstar here in a year or so. I guarantee it, if not already.
Insane artist. Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for the reveal. Incredible TCM. We'll make sure we put all the links below so that everyone could go check it out now. If you're going to New York Comic Con, you'll be able to get your hands on Unholy Nightmare, possibly some prints of Kneel Before Doomface. And then, Aaron, whenever you do have the crowdfunding, we'll blast that thing out. It looks absolutely amazing, and we want to make sure that we get as many of those of that title into everybody's hands. But I thank you, gentlemen, for being with me tonight. It's been awesome.
Thanks for having us, Thomas. I always appreciate coming on.
I appreciate that. All right. Till next time, have a good one. Thank you, guys.